I know, I'm sorry guys. First I wasn't all that impressed with Black Widow, and now Wonder Woman. Look, I don't mean to sound like an old fart.
Which you are.
But there is a reason why I was, not completely, but somewhat underwhelmed by this trailer. The first thing that stood out to me is that visually, the movie looks good, but aside from a couple of shots with great cinematography, I gotta say, I am kind of let down that the movie doesn't look all that different from the first Wonder Woman, and even Justice League for that matter. And the reason I feel a little let down by this is because the official poster that was released a while ago looks amazing. Look at all these colors. This looks like a completely different style from the poster for the first movie. When I saw this poster, I thought the movie was going to go with a completely different visual style and that it was going to be something new and different. But what it looks like we get in the end is an almost identical looking movie to the first Wonder Woman, complete with fake looking CGI during some of the action and shots that look like they have been taken right out of the bank scene in Justice League. The last movie I saw from Warner Brothers was Joker, and that movie looked absolutely beautiful. And even Birds of Prey, despite looking too colourful and cheap at points, it does look like it's going for something different and more experimental. But Wonder Woman just looks the same, and I would have liked for it to look a little different, a little more high quality, a little bit more updated or something. Now something else I wasn't too fond of with this trailer, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the trailer seems to be really going off base with the tone of the movie. What I mean by this is that the trailer is shoving it in your face that the movie is taking place in 1984, but then when you watch the rest of the trailer, the actual movie is hardly bringing much attention to the fact that it's taking place in the 80s at all, and I much prefer that method, but the people who made the trailer didn't seem to get the memo. So there really does seem to be a miscommunication with the marketing here. Just because this movie is taking place in the 80s doesn't mean it's going to throw the time period in your face every chance it gets, but the trailer is trying so hard to advertise the movie as an 80s nostalgia trip. The music and retro text feels like it is downright copying the 80s style of Stranger Things. So I would actually say that this is the worst edited trailer I have seen all year. Other trailers, such as Captain Marvel, at the very least showed me that the movie looks like a dull and soulless piece of shit, and when I saw the movie, that's exactly what I got. But with this Wonder Woman trailer, I'm getting two completely different vibes from it. One from the trailer and one from the movie, and they seem to be very aggressively clashing with each other. Anyway, those are my gripes with the visual presentation of the trailer and the movie. So, what did I think of everything else in the trailer? Well, Steve Trevor is back, and I'm pretty happy about this, as I thought he did a great job in the first movie. He clearly seems to have been isolated or transported forward in time or something, as he seems to be taking in this new time period. I'm gonna be honest, at first I thought he was a hallucination in Wonder Woman's mind, someone who gives her a bunch of motivational speeches, but by the end of the trailer, it turns out that no, he's really here, and I'm glad. And I also like how the movie is switching things up. In the first film, Wonder Woman was unfamiliar with the world and Steve Trevor was showing her around and telling her what things are. In the second movie, now he is unfamiliar with the world and she is teaching him what things are. And I like how it's switching it up. It's a parallel that makes perfect sense. And they don't go over the top with the jokes, which is something that Marvel would have done. Like, look at this scene where he confuses the trash can for art.
That's just a trash can.
It's just a trash can. Yeah.
He reacted just like someone would if they got some new information like that. But if it was Marvel, they would try to drag that joke out as much as they can, and the movie would just come to a complete and total halt. I also like that there is a lot of hints of potential character development to go off of in this trailer, and I hope the movie actually delivers on it. It did it so well in the first movie, and I hope it does it well in this movie too. So yeah, even though I'm not really that fond of the actual presentation of the trailer, I am still looking very forward to watching the movie, and it does look more interesting and relevant than the Black Widow movie, which I recently discovered only exists to set up the next Black Widow going forward. So we finally get a Black Widow movie, but it turns out that her first standalone movie is just a setup for someone else to replace her. Gee, I can't wait to see that. Honestly, once I figured that out, I felt much less interested in Black Widow, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I am still feeling very optimistic about this trailer, and at the same time, it didn't give too much away. Kristen Wiig here is supposed to be playing the villain Cheetah, and I gotta say, she's giving me Edward Nygma vibes from Batman Forever. Selena Kyle also had the same backstory in Batman Returns, you know, where the character starts out very nerdy and goofy and they idolize the hero, and then they eventually turn on the hero and want to kill them. Why do so many supervillains copy that? I mean, The Amazing Spider-Man did that with Electro, and even Iron Man 3 did that as well. We also have Pedro Pascal as Max Lord, and he looks like an obvious con man, and I'm guessing he is the main villain. I just hope they balance the two villains very well, and they don't throw one of them in right at the end of the movie like the first Wonder Woman. I mean, it made sense in the first Wonder Woman, but I just hope they don't use the same formula in the second movie. Unless, of course, they find a way to make it work, in which case, I'm perfectly open to that. So yeah, I'm looking very forward to this movie, and so far, it is one of my most anticipated movies of 2020. But that isn't really saying much because I haven't really assessed what movies are coming out next year. Most of the interesting ones are coming out in 2021. Oh, and Hans Zimmer is composing the soundtrack for this film, and I can't wait to hear it. I just hope that it really isn't going to be taken over with 80s theme music. I would hate if that happened. So, that's it for another trailer review. It was quite sneaky of DC, wasn't it, to release the trailer for Wonder Woman only days after Marvel released their trailer for Black Widow. Sneaky, but clever, and it clearly worked, because I am already far more hyped for Wonder Woman. Anyway, comment below and let me know what you thought of the trailer for Wonder Woman 1984, and I must give a special thanks to all my patrons who are supporting me. For those of you that are not aware, I have a Patreon page which is linked in the description, and I regularly post podcasts there for things that I would not usually have time to cover on my channel. And the most recent podcast I made was Lady and the Tramp versus the live-action remake of Lady and the Tramp. And my opinions on the movie really might surprise you. As always, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will catch all of you next time. Take care.